Yo guys, welcome to a tutorial on how to fly the Boeing 747 from point A to point B for dummies, dude. Dummies like me. With this tutorial, I hope you'll learn how you can travel the globe quite easily in this beast of an aircraft. And it's the biggest aircraft in the game, and it's not that hard to fly if you just learn the basics, you know. So I'll be doing a little short flight here from Essendon to Melbourne, just because that's my hometown, and it's a short route where I can demonstrate everything. So we'll choose the first part of flying from point A to point B is choosing making our flight plan from where we want to fly from. So 2 airports, you know, anywhere you like. So we're gonna start in the parking because I want to start up the aircraft and show you guys how to do that. So we'll set our departure. Normally for Boeing 747 you'd look for like a heavy gate, but there's none on this airport because it's small. And then we'll set our arrival at Melbourne Airport. So you just do that. So you set your departure and your arrival, but that will not let us fly there and land easily. So what you want to do is click here and click High Altitude Airways. Alright, now when you zoom in, so nothing's changed, right? But if you click up here, you have ILS. So let's choose one that is not scuffed. So basically this will let us take the glide slope scope down into the runway. So let's see what we got. Okay, so the first, what you want to look for here is just make sure that it's not scuffed, okay? So like, look at this. This is fine. So we take off here. We go straight. It makes a turn, and then you know you turn around, and you come and land at the airport here. But see, you want to make sure when you're planning your route, it's not like, you see, you don't want that. That's gonna mess you up, dude. You're gonna fly here and then you're gonna turn. Your plane cannot do that. So when you're planning your route, always make sure your ILS that you choose lines up nicely, so you can just fly in and land straight on the runway. It doesn't zigzag, take you somewhere else. Cool. That should be it. Let's fly. Now load times take a while, as you know, so gonna have to wait this out. Be sure to join my Discord or drop me a follow on Twitch. I'm live every day, as well as I'll be on Discord all the time, so if you guys have a question or anything, that's the best place to shoot at me and I'll answer, because probably like 3 people will watch this video. But a lot of people overcomplicate this plane and the tutorials. Like if you're like me and you just want to fly point from one country to another country, or something, I'll show you. Alright, looks like we are ready to go. We're on the runway here at Essendon Airport. A bit laggy when I move this drone camera. This plane is loading in. Okay, this plane is gigantic for this airport, but that's fine. It's just for instructional purposes, dude. Alright. This plane looks daunting, but half the buttons don't work and we don't even got to touch this computer, so the flight plane's already in from that world map where we set it up. So we're going to go up to this top panel by pressing Control 9, or you can just look up, with your mouse, but we're going to turn this to auto. We're going to start this, turn on this battery. Now we're going to turn on these fuel pumps to get the fuel into the engine. We're going to turn on the lights, to make the plane look pretty and stuff. That's pretty much it. See all these buttons, they don't work. Like half of these don't work, dude, so you don't got to click anything. Same with these, you don't need these. You see this available, so we're going to click these, and then the plane will start up. And now let's start up the engine. So turn on these fuel put fuel into the engines with this. Or setting the engines to run, I guess. Like a lawnmower or something, I don't know. And then you click these buttons up here to turn on all the engines. And you should start hearing a humming noise. And if you don't, if you just start this again. If it doesn't start up, if you've turned these to on and these have been clicked out, just restart this and it should start up. And that's it. It's starting up. Now you can set your flaps as well for takeoff to make it easier to lift off the ground. I like to put it on like 5. Cool. Turn off the handbrake. And we'll request a pushback if it lets us. So using the radio. You can even use your reverse thrusters, which is an important thing to note. No pushback available. Okay, so we will do it with our reverse thrusters. Normal airport, you'll be able to do a pushback. Make sure you bind your reverse throttle in your settings to something, because when you land, you need it in this plane. Yeah. Cool. So let's go. I guess. So I'm going to turn on the reverse thruster. Go back inside. Now, let's go over some stuff. So we're just gonna go taxi, follow this route to the runway. So it's gonna, from what we put in the world map earlier, it's gonna automatically set up the flight plan for us, as you can see down here. Now, to use this screen, you can zoom in and out with this screen here. See? Just zoom in until you can see your flight plan. And if we go all the way out, you'll be able to see, well now it's kind of hard to look at it, but they show us our whole plan basically, the waypoints we're flying to. It's a good time to set your altitude to what you want to, so this is like the autopilot panel. Set your altitude to what you want. What altitude do you want? Let's go, we'll keep ours at like 4,000. We're gonna fly pretty low just because the runway is coming up. We're not following like proper rules or whatever. But if you were climbing up to 12,000 feet, you could set that there. I'll go over that in a sec. What else? That's pretty much it. Now let's go over to the runway here. Like I said, I'm not a pilot. This is just going to be a scuff tutorial from someone who just likes to fly these airlines because they're cool, from point A to point B. I've done a fair few trips now in this plane. Although I am number 48 in the world on JFK Airport, the landing challenge in the 747, and I'm 30 something, 35 in the Austrian Strongwind 747 challenge, so I'm pretty proud of that. Cool, we're on the runway here. So the center wheel is like right in line with this window here. I mean the nose wheel. Pretty much in line with that window, if you look at it. Cool. So that's pretty much it. All we did was set our flaps, and we set this to 4,000. So now in all the airliners, the autopilot's pretty much the same. The only difference is it's just laid out differently. The buttons that we're going to use, you'll find them in all the airlines, the A320 and the 787. So the main ones we're going to do, turn on the autopilot with this once we're in the air. We'll hit LNAV for it to follow the route, and then we'll hit vertical speed to set to climb up to this altitude. Cool, let's full throttle it. Get going. Itself, but I'm just gonna let it. Alright, let's go. V1. It's a very short runway, that one there. Cool, so I'm just gonna put the gear up, turn over to the right. The gear lever is here, by the way, or G. You can just ignore the air traffic control, you don't really need it. So I'll set the flaps up, which I just did with my button that I bound. And now we're going to engage with autopilot. We're going to click LNAV, so it's going to follow that route. And now vertical speed, this one's important. So we also want to set the speed that we want. 200. So I've let go of the stick, it's flying itself now. Now, if you set an altitude here, it will only climb or decelerate or decline to the altitude if you click this vertical sync button. Vertical speed. Okay, it's VS. Okay. So we want it to climb to 4,000. So you can make it go higher, like this. You see? And now that. Basically, click this button until a pink dot here shows up. And once that pink dot shows up, you can set the, see how it's moving? You can set how high or low you want the plane, how fast or how slow you want the plane to climb or to decline. Obviously plus is going up, minus is going down if you want to go lower. So we're flying with live weather today. So it's a lot sunnier where I am, but I guess this is what it's like in the sky right now. So range, you can watch your viewpoints, your waypoints from here. This has different modes. For now we have it on the map mode here. I like to bring it closer as I get closer. Normally I have it around 20 or 10 coming in. So basically right now the plane is flying perfectly. If you were going to New Zealand or something from Australia, it would be following the plan. You could stay at this altitude, you could go higher if you want, just by adjusting this and clicking the vertical speed, and you'd be on your way. So the main bit is now landing the plane, which sounds scary, but it's really not. So this plane, I like to have it around 160 to land, the 747, 160 knots. And typically you'd decelerate when you see, it shows up on the, you see this decel? That would come up, and then like it'll come up on one of these waypoints, and that's when you slow down. Down to like 160 or whatever to land. So the dots are already the diamonds here are the ILS for the landing, which they've already appeared. Well, this one has the vertical one to catch the glide slope down into the runway. But we don't need to worry about that just yet. Cool, the plane's now going to turn around this line. Typically when you're approaching airports, I like to sit around 3,000 feet and then just catch the glide slope as it comes down. So we're getting to altitude of, oh, I must have changed it, of 4,000. And when once it gets there, you see how it flicked from vertical speed to hold. So now it's just holding that altitude. Also, I forgot to mention, I'm not touching the throttle. This auto throttle, when you turn on the autopilot, it automatically does this speed. Okay? Now, if you're cruising in the air, I set it to like 299 if you're flying high. And you can see it on here. Basically, this bar, this is where you're like stalling, so just watch it. Basically, set it as high as you want, as long as it's not in the red, and then you're fine. Cool, so the plane's going to continue to turn here. What else is important? Oh yeah, when you land, two things, like when you know, in our final, the two things we're going to do is just disconnect the auto throttle and disengage the autopilot by clicking this bar or clicking this, but like, clicking the bar is funner. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. Now we just enjoy the approach here. If you're flying from waypoint to waypoint, like, you know, you do your flight plan in the world map like we did, sometimes the air traffic control would tell you to climb to 30,000 feet, and then it would tell you to descend to 3,000 feet in like 1 second. So I don't like listening to the air traffic control. Just fly whatever altitude you want, okay? Because this is a guide for dummies. So this is just how to enjoy your flight and go to where you want to. There's a lot of pilots that make tutorials if you want to follow realism. But I like to just have fun in these huge aircrafts. If you really want to role play, you can play with the lights and stuff here when you're going to land. Turn them on and off, yeah, flash them as well. Okay, so basically, when this top diamond and the one down here align, you'd go ahead and press this approach button and it will glide you into the runway. So right now it's still early. Another viewpoint, you see this knob here, if you turn it to APP, it's approach mode, and basically when this bar and this line up, you can turn on the approach. But I wouldn't even worry about that, just wait till this diamond and this diamond line up. Like I said, 4,000, 3,000 feet, you should catch it fine. So you'll see this will appear now. Yeah, there it is, as we're turning in. See how it's lining up? And then as soon as it lines up, see how this is sinking a bit? You could adjust the altitude if you wanted. See, I clicked it twice, then the dot came up. So I'll go ahead and click that approach button. To click it twice there, but the plane now will go and try to lock onto these two diamonds. I was a bit high. Normally I'd say sit around 3,000 feet. And let's slow down our speed, because I completely forgot about that, to 160. But you notice the plane will have trouble slowing down, so you can deploy your flaps. And you see the yellow bar will keep going down. You can also pull this speed brake to slow yourself down. That opens up these spoilers on the wing. It's still a bit high here. We should be lower, so you could disengage. Basically, you can either leave the autopilot on and it will glide you down to the airport, or you can disconnect it and just fly and follow these bars here. You can do that whenever you want. So I'm going to take off the speed brake. And pop our landing gear down as well. So there's the airport. I'm going to disengage the auto throttle here. Disengage the autopilot. It's going to freeze for a second. Oh, there's a lot of people in the air. And I'm just going to lower our altitude, because you see that vertical diamond? It kind of disappeared. So I'm going to get us back in line with that diamond. But typically, there's the diamond coming back up. Typically you could... is. Keep that approach button on and it will fly literally right up to the runway. Just disconnect it like 50 feet before, because otherwise it will slam you down into it or keep you flying, you know? So you want to manage our speed. We're going a bit fast, 170, you want to be around 160. And you just want to keep those diamonds aligned as best you can if you're flying it manually like we are. I'm a bit to the left, I'm just going to swing it a little bit to the right. You see I'm dropping a bit, so I'll just give it a little bit more throttle and pitch up, because when you pitch up you're slowing down. There we go. The diamond is coming back down, the vertical one. You're going to keep pointing down. Now this plane likes to float, so it's good to aim it a little bit lower than you think, basically. And when you get to just before the runway, you want to be at about 100. 300. Now at this point I'm not even looking at the diamonds anymore, I'm just looking at the runway. And when we get to 30 feet, we're going to just flare, lift the aircraft, point it up a little bit, and shut the throttle down.
40, 30,
We're going to shut the throttle down. It's going to land.
10.
And we're going to engage our reverse throttle. And hold the brakes. Not sure what that noise was, ignore that. And we're down. I kind of froze up at the end there. I forgot to shut off the throttle till it was at like 20, but at 30 if you shut down the throttle you're fine. But there you go, see, we landed this big ass plane. It was so easy, and a dummy like me did it, so you can do it as well. It's not complicated, very simple. Let's put the flaps back up. Cool. That's it. Now, once you land, if you really want to have fun, I like doing this, I get the airport to, you know, tell me which gate to go to. Taxi to parking, or taxi to gate, whatever it says. I think if you just drive up to a gate as well, it will let you dock there. tell the AI planes, they don't say like what plane it is and stuff. Any free gates over there? But yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully that was pretty straightforward. Normally if you take off at a normal length runway, it'd be fine. Only thing I'd say is make sure, yeah, when you come to approach a runway, just make sure by the time you're close, you engage the you want to be around 3,000 feet when you're at the approach of the runway, you know, where it says decel. On here, you want to make sure you're at like 3,000 feet by then. So wherever you are in your thing, just make sure when you get close to the airport, like 10 miles out, you can tell from this thing here. You want to make sure that you are going slow, your wheels are out, and you engage that approach mode when the 2 diamonds come up. I was a bit high. Like I said, sit around 3,000, you'll be fine. But yeah, I've been flying all around the world using this scuffed method here. It's been fine. I mean, the aircraft's fine, having fun. We didn't crash. I think a lot of people would be fine with that. Alright. Hopefully this wasn't too all over the place. I am a dummy, but I just flew the big-ass aeroplane, biggest one in the game. So if I can, you can do it as well. Turn off the aircraft. Click these, and it makes a cool... Oh wait, hold on. Sometimes it does that when you turn off the engine. Is it continue? Listen to the engines power down. Oh. You can turn off this. I love that sound. Cool. Alright, there we go, now it's off. But yeah, I guess the main thing is don't panic about all these buttons, because literally half of them don't work. Like, they say inop. Like, these ones are all your lights and stuff. These are lights. These are lights for your inside panels. Yeah, like, you don't even need to touch half these. It's literally just this, the power. You click these two, that wasn't showing earlier. On, you turn on the battery here. Turn on all the fuel, you know. Let's turn them off. That's it. That's literally it. And then you start the engines, click these, all of these, and turn on all the fuel things where I showed them before near the throttle. And that's it. And then you can play with the lights if you want. All these. That's literally it. All these don't work and stuff, so don't need it. Yep, if you have any questions or anything, jump in my Discord. I'm also live every day on Twitch, twitch.tv/Tremmy. I do ASMR flight sim, you know. So pop by, ask any questions. Maybe we can start a little flying club, you know, on my Discord if you like want some company while you're flying around. Yep. Cool. Lit. Oh, I'll delete that bit. Alright. See ya. Bye.